two, three questions, and then he will reflect. Yes.
My name is Olof Björnsson. I work at Swedwatch. I have a question of a practical nature. I think many foreign journalists and civil society organizations need local partners in Ethiopia in order to work. But a lot of this work is held back by the fact that of a worry to endanger these local partners once the work is over and the foreign organizations go home. And I want to know your thoughts on this, how to balance the need for work, the need for reporting against the security and safety of the partners in Ethiopia.
Okay.
Thank you.
And yeah, you too.
I wondered if my name is John Ewing. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about the role of the of neighboring countries in the area. You talked a little bit about travel bans for top officials, and I kind of wondered how would a travel ban actually work when you have Ethiopian security that's apparently able to operate pretty freely in neighboring countries, pick people up, etc. How would that practically work? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure.
Yeah, to answer some of the question in my own capacity, the development assistance, the NGOs, that was the question. Which NGOs are now operating in Ethiopia, and those humanitarian organizations which are allowed to operate, even to distribute food in Ethiopia, is under strict control of the Ethiopian government. And there was, I remember after the 2005 election, there is the European governments, they stopped giving direct budgetary support to the Ethiopian government, and rather than they are tunneling the money directly to the people using the lowest level of administration, like the Warada administration. But what really happens is that the Ethiopian government welcomed that, because they know that the Warada is totally controlled by their own people. So whether you give it to the federal government or whether you give it to the local administration, this is not happening like the one we have seen in other countries. So it is the same thing. When it comes to the NGOs, of course, what the Western governments, what they are trying to do is the food distribution and other things, the developmental assistance is really managed by some organizations on the ground, like Christians, Catholic Relief Service, or like Save the Children, or like these organizations, UNICEF and others. So what I'm trying to talk about is these organizations. They receive the money through that way. Of course, these Western governments, they pledge their aid totally for the country, but it comes through UNICEF, it comes through WHO and others. So the people is really desperate to get some support from outside. I have seen on the ground, people doesn't have anything to eat. If 1 or 2 rainy seasons failed in that country, million people need food aid. That's how the Ethiopian agricultural development is failed in that country. No one admits this. I mean, the Ethiopian government doesn't want to admit this, but within 2 consecutive rainy seasons failed, millions are need food aid. So still, I'm talking about through these big organizations, many should be allocated through that one. So to be specific, that is the question. So the in danger of the security of the workers on the ground, or like journalists and human rights activists and others, yeah, it's happening. We are a living example for that one, because the Zone 9 bloggers, they are really working with some international organizations by, supporting some of the things, doing reports and exposing the human rights abuses in that country. It is a very difficult one to answer this, because I remember some people who were in Gambella, they were trying to help. So even the World Bank translating this grabbing problem, they are now in prison. There are so many examples like that. The only thing is the Westerners or the Western organization, they should be very careful when they communicate with these people. It's some people are naive enough to call directly to these people. The phones are tapped in that country. If you are a suspect from the government, your phone will be tapped. Your email and others can be accessed, because in Ethiopia there is only one telecom provider which is owned by the state. So it's very easy to do surveillance against you. In some ways, it looks like East Germany. Yeah, it reminds me some of the things. And China, we use the technique of China to control dissents and human rights organizations and activists in that country. So I don't know exactly how to answer this question, because I know that after some communication, after some real works, the life of some activists and some people are in danger. So there should be an innovative way of communicating and working together with these people.
But do you think all doors
one
are
thing,
closed?
yeah, one thing I should add is that there are people who are working outside of their country. Most of the time, people are thinking only the one who is inside. The one who went outside, they are forced to exile. They can't do so many things. They have their own links. They have family links, they have friendship links, and everything. You can go through them and do something. And I haven't seen big organizations like other countries. Ethiopians, we don't have that much big institutions and organizations based outside of their country. So I think the focus should be a little bit moved from the country to outside. And those Ethiopians and those people who are in safe place, they can manage to do something inside.
And the third question?
The third question is about the neighboring. What is the travel ban? The travel ban is a symbolic. The Ethiopian government needs this international recognition. Now, for the people, for its own citizenship, what it tells every time, even on the state media, is that they are number one in the world. They have got recognition from this one and that one. So we know that, in Ethiopia, the people, the public, and the government, we know each other. So they are always bring someone to do, to make to give them some certification. When they told us that we are food secure, we know that food sufficient. We know that we are not food sufficient. But they brought, what was that in Rome? The United Nations organization?
FAO.
FAO. They brought FAO and they said is that, you see, we have got a certification from FAO. So when they are talking about health thing, they brought the United Nations, UNICEF, to get that certification. So they are always brought someone from outside to show us that, we are on the right track. We are not the one who will tell you. The foreigners are the one who's telling you this. We are invited on G7, G20 because we are successful. That's how the narration in Ethiopia, that's how every day, if you open the state media, that's how they are using it. When you are when there is a travel ban and other things, these guys, they lost one propaganda means to tell the world. I know that, the security officials, they go to Kenya and they kidnap people and they brought it to Ethiopia without any question. That's why so many journalists and human rights activists, after they exiled in Nairobi, they are afraid for their life. It's true. There are reports, even that the Kenyan newspapers are reporting about that. Ethiopian security officials, it's very easy for them to take someone from South Sudan or from Nairobi. We know that. But what I'm saying is that symbolic measures should be taken. That's it.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it invites a lot of questions. The issue of development aid and what kind of restraining measures international partners can do is not such an easy question, to be honest. So I can imagine many of you have additional comments and questions on that. Any additional question? Yes, let me start from here.
Yes, my name is Flaminia, and a comment on that. Last year I was working on Eritrea, and when looking at the international response to the problems of Eritrea, what we did see is that the main worry of the international community is actually stability in the region. And they don't really care about how stability is achieved. They don't want another Syria in that part of Africa. They already have the huge issue of Somalia, and therefore any government that actually promises stability or implements stability towards the outside world is to be supported. And I think that that is one of the biggest problem here. And you have to take that into consideration when you are thinking how to sway the opinion of of the international community vis-a-vis country like Ethiopia and Eritrea.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate reality when it comes to international partnership. Whether we like it or not, that's how at least the establishments in the West thinks stability first at all costs. So it's our burden to find out the right formula, the right approach to change this. This is not really an easy question. There, yeah, you.
Oh, thank you. First, I want to thank you, Tezfalem, and your friends, and everyone in prison, and everyone who's dying. So you all been an inspiration to us. So I really want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. One question I have is, you were mentioning about the international community, the West, the government. I don't know if I have any hope in that. Let's face it, they don't really care about us. I mean, government. So maybe we can talk about the civil society organization, what they can do for us. But as she said already, they only care about the stability of the country, not actually about the people. The people are, we know what's happening to the people. So my question now maybe would be, what would the diaspora do, like as an organized group, because the diaspora, as we know, is somehow divided. So what, I don't know if you can even answer that, but what do you think? Do you think there's any hope in organizing the diaspora to do something tangible? What can we do individually, those who are in the diaspora? Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Yes.
Thank you. My name is Wanderson. I would like to add on some issues that the Western, so to say, the Western community or the international community keep on supporting the region for the reason of stability. But I think it's up to us, people like Tezfalem or those of us who are in the Western society now, to show that Ethiopia is not really stable. And the upcoming scenarios that we are seeing is it's a country governed with 6% of minority, and we have a similarity with the situation in Syria in 2011. So if things goes in this way, with this pace, then it is true that we have a gloomy picture. So how can we show for the world that there is no stability, and there has never been stability if we look back few years down the line. And the other thing is like regarding development, I think, this is my personal view, the Western government should stop giving aid to Ethiopia. In reality, they will not stop, but there is always be emergency aid. But the development or there is always this money that goes to the government, injected directly to the budget. And this money, because I work on corruption, and I have a lot of information, but this money that goes directly to the government budget is usually ends up in, the ruling elites. So it's up to us, like, to show and explain to that. And I want Tesfalem, if you could shed some light on this thing. And thank you.
Okay. One last question for the man at the last row.
I'm Tamro. I've been here for more than 6 months. My question is about what diaspora can do, but I want to elaborate some more. I want to put some comparative approach compared to, the anti-apartheid struggle. I think the Ethiopian diaspora should have a realistic goal first. But having banned aid, banning flight ban, that are not real goals, according to me. If you see that the anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa, before the 1980s, the Western government used to work with the apartheid government closely. Western companies used to work closely with the apartheid government. But after that, by the leadership of Oliver Tambo, Thabo Mbeki, they used to organize universities all around Western countries. They used to spread news about the apartheid massacres, killings, of what's happening in South Africa through the universities and through the civil societies in the Western country. So the mood of the society in the Western country changed, then the government position changed. I think the diaspora first should do this. The mood of the Western society should be well informed about what is happening in Ethiopia through the universities, through the civil societies. Then the governments might change their position. But jumping to other diplomatic tactics like trying to ban aid to Ethiopia, I think it's realistic for me. I think what I want to say that, and I hope you can reflect on it.
Thank you. I don't know which of the questions.
I can say something.
Yeah, please, in any order you like.
The stability issue. We know that. We live in Africa, and I traveled extensively in the Horn of Africa, and I know the situation there. Horn of Africa is one of the very volatile region in the world. From pirates up to Al-Shabaab and all those problems. Yeah, there is a real danger in that area. We understand, I personally understand the Western's concern when it comes to security in that area. Look at Somalia is a failed state, and they are trying to form a government there. Eritrea is Eritrea, as you know. So South Sudan is a newborn country. It's in civil war. Kenya, of course, it's a stable country, but Kenya is always affected by Al-Shabaab and others. Ethiopia is a little bit, Djibouti is a camp for the foreigners, the French and the Americans. But I know that's a very dangerous and volatile region, and there is a security concern when it comes to that, and Ethiopia is playing a very crucial role stabilizing that area. It's true. But now the country who is trying to stabilize other countries becoming unstable. So it becomes a self-defeating thing for the foreigners now. They always say that Ethiopia is a very big country. There is a state for the last thousands of years, the country is staying as a state for a long time. I understand that one. But if the country is descending to a civil war, it will be a total blow for the security in the Horn of Africa and even for Africa. Addis Ababa is the capital city of African Union. And the capital city of Africa, that's what they said, and it is the seat of the African Union, and they are playing a very crucial role. So the Westerners should be doing much better when it comes to stabilizing that country. They should start pushing the government to bring a long-lasting solution and a peaceful solution. I don't know, in any means they should bring that stability back to that country. Otherwise, things will be nasty in that area, and the things which they are mostly concerned, the security issue, will be out of their hand so soon, because the government will be very busy of handling its own citizens rather than going to Somalia and controlling that. Look at it. In the current discussion about South Sudan, Ethiopia is almost not playing a very big role. The Uganda and the others are playing a big role now. Previously, our prime ministers are the one who played a very key role. Now we are busy of our things. So the security issue is there, but another thing. The diaspora, the one she mentioned. Ethiopian diaspora, they did a lot. I respect that. They always come out to demonstrate. When we were arrested, you guys are the one, and all the people outside, they brought our pictures and everything, and they are trying to shed the light, the policymakers in this country and in other places. But as you said, the Ethiopian diaspora is fragmented, and we are very weak when it comes to unified position. And we don't have institutions. Ethiopians, we always want to run just like our runners, alone, rather than staying and having its own institutions. What we lack in our country because of our government, we can't do it in this country. We can't do it in Western countries. That's what I believe. If we don't have a human rights organization in Ethiopia, why don't we open it here? Why don't we have projects like Blank Spot Project or something like that? Our Ethiopians are not capable of doing this outside of our country? Do we have problems? Here, everything is here. Internet is not accessible in Ethiopia. Internet is here. I mean, we can't do so many things. Now, everything is, information is accessible in a very easy way, and we can do so many things when it comes to activism and things related like that. And one thing after I came here, what I found out is that there are some Ethiopians who are citizens of that country, and they did not even participate in the local politics. They just only think about their own country, and instead of being a member of the political parties, or instead of being involved, there are parliamentarians who are representing them. So they can approach them and they can sell the Ethiopian situation to this member of parliamentarians, and this member of parliamentarians can bring it to the Swedish parliament or the German parliament and other places. There are so many issues in this world. The Syrian issue is very big. The immigration issue is becoming one of the big issues. So Ethiopians should do lots of things to get attention from the politicians and the policymakers from the Western governments. That's what I believe. And we lack coordination, we lack unity, and we lack institutions. So we shall do, we shall change the system, the tactic, what we previously use. Demonstrations is not the only solution. We can learn from other communities, from other countries. They are very successful in so many ways.
Thank you. As I said earlier, I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but we are not here to exhaust and come up with a resolution. So thank you for joining the provocation, and let's keep the discussion. Thank you for coming, and let's keep in touch, and have a nice day. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mesfin. Thank you, Tesfalem, and thank you all for coming to the Blank Spot Project's office. And on your way out, please take a copy of our magazine. But also, Keith from Civil Rights Defenders would like to conclude. No, you're satisfied. Okay. And this is an ongoing. This is an ongoing discussion. I think we need more journalism about Ethiopia. And please spread this. Seminar that's now on. It's been live on Blank Spot Project's Facebook, and it will be on other pages as well. Please spread the word and keep the discussion ongoing about the situation in Ethiopia. So we give them a voice, and I see journalism has a great role to play in this future process. Thank you all. Thank you.